Hello everyone, know every name I want here, otherwise known as Patrick, and welcome to an updated faction overview. I did them a while back, but they were like an hour and a half long, so I'm just going to shorten it up as best as I can and just give an overview of what the army likes to do, their strengths, and all that sort of things, like what their feel is. First is Arengard. The best way I can describe Arengard is that, like in any other game with humans in them, they are very good at pretty much everything. They're not bad at anything. They're not the best at anything, but they are good at everything. So I would, so pretty much able to do any strategy very well. But I think Arengard's main strength is the fact that their toolbox is bigger than any other factions. They can go against any faction with any strategy, and they will have insanely good counters for them. If they're going wide, they have answers for that for like Frost Maiden. She does good AoE. If they're going really tall, they have Enforcer, which can arrest them, or the Tempest Mages, which can exhaust those really big units. If they're going, they're trying to sit back, hold off. They have Knights, which are really good at getting in. If they're trying to rush in, they have the Halberdiers or the Elite Swordsmen, which are really good at fighting things or holding units back. So, Arengard's very good in that aspect, and that they have they have really good answers to everything, more so than the other two factions currently. And another good thing they have is that they're very generic units. Well, they're not insane like the longbowmen, these longbowmen, the crossbowmen, the knights. They're good. Don't get me wrong, but they're not like, oh my god, they're absolutely insane. But they are good. But the second they get any buffs from like tactician, any support for like priests for the knights, you start putting shields on them. All of a sudden, these very generic units suddenly become really, really powerful. A knight with a single, like, you can have a knight be pretty much in the middle of the enemy team, and you have one priest with them, and all of a sudden that knight's unkillable. Or you have a catapult, and you have a tactician next to it. All of a sudden, it's dealing 4 damage per attack, or it's got 4 range, and so it's very. Arengard has very, very good supporting tools as well. I think their support tools are better than the other factions, and that also comes into line with their toolboxy nature. So pretty much that describes Arengard pretty well. Not bad at anything, but they are pretty good at everything. They have very generic units that become really good, really, really good with like simple buffs. Their supporting units are really, really good, but they are a bit squishy. That's like their one weakness, is that their supporting units are pretty easy to kill, but you can easily cover that up with like shield bearer or whatnot. So very, very wide options, plenty of options, and pretty much any unit in their list can work very, very well. And as for the heroes, again, they're both pretty solid. Aurelia has plenty of like builds you can go with. She has Sunstrike if you want to be a pure mage, Solar Aegis, which is an insanely good supporting ability. Sun's Fervor, which is a really good ability if you want her to be very aggressive or damaging. And Glory is if you really want a tanky Aurelia, very tanky Aurelia, and Glory allows her to do so because she can get into the middle of the enemy team very easily, glory them all, next round, boom. Pretty game-winning effect right there. And you can mix and match these abilities pretty much however you want. She's very, very flexible. I think more so than any other here in the game. I think Aurelia has by far the most options and most flexibility. Tristan's also pretty flexible in what he can do. I wouldn't say as much as Aurelia, but still pretty flexible. Tristan is your standard, pretty much boss unit. You can make him into a pretty much unkillable machine that will murder everything in sight and just not die ever. Um, all of his abilities are pretty good. Arrest, being able to just disarm a unit, and then if they were right next to you, you just get a free action, which means you can whack them right away without taking any damage back. Braveheart is pretty good, even if it only affects units with more than 6 HP, or 6 HP and more. It still comes up pretty often, because if you think about it, it's really kind of like a 1 gold short sword. And short sword is 3 gold, it takes an item slot, and it gives you +1 power. Tristan can just have Braveheart for cheaper, taking up no item slots, and it's really strong for only when you really want it. And Shield Bash is insanely good. Being able to just exhaust a unit is pretty great. And Divine Favor just gives him more health. Who doesn't want more health? So Tristan is very much a brawler, but you can easily make him a damage dealer. Thanks to his natural steadfast and 6 health, he's just naturally really hard to kill. So if you really want to, you can just put a bunch of swords on him and put a Divine Favor if you really want him to survive more, and he's gonna do work. You can just have him a support character with just Arrest and Shield Bash. Not worry so much about damaging, but just running around debuffing the enemy. And like I said, he has a very good tank build. He put like a Felguard's battlesuit on him, and he's pretty much not gonna die ever. So yeah, very flexible, very wide array of good units. Pretty much able to go against any army, no matter how broken they are, and they'll always do good. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I think I shortened it by quite a bit. It's like 7.5, 8 minutes. But anyway, I hope this described Arengard pretty well, and I'll hope to see you in the next video.